Imagine stepping out into a tiny backyard where nothing matches, but everything belongs. Along one path, old glass bottles you almost threw away glow like a rainbow when the sun hits them. A little further, tennis balls that lost their bounce line a soft border around your herbs, bright and gentle under your feet. On the fence, candy jars and old containers you used to see as trash now overflow with flowers, turning a plain wall into a vertical border of color. This isn't a garden built with expensive materials. It's built from the things you already have at home. Things that were on their way to the bin, now holding life, light, and stories in the smallest corners of your space. Welcome back to Backyard Fortune, the little corner of the internet where tiny spaces and trash turn into gardens that feel like home. Today, we're exploring real, DIY-friendly garden borders made from everyday objects, bottles, broken pots, puzzle pieces, tennis balls, old jars, things almost everyone has lying around. If you love ideas like this, if you enjoy seeing small yards transformed with heart instead of big budgets, I'd love to invite you to subscribe. We're building a series of Trash to Treasure garden episodes, and your support keeps this project alive for our small family. As you watch, think of that one friend or relative who loves gardening but doesn't have much space. If this video gives you even one new idea, please share it to your WhatsApp and Facebook and tell more garden lovers about it. For everyone who watches, shares, and follows along, I genuinely wish you a long, healthy life and a garden that keeps surprising you in beautiful ways. One, rainbow glass bottle storybook border. Imagine sunlight slipping into your garden like a quiet visitor, touching everything with a gentle warmth. Along the edge of a small flower bed, old glass bottles, green, blue, amber, and clear, rise from the soil like forgotten treasures rediscovered. They were once ordinary containers, emptied and set aside. Yet here, half buried in soft earth, they glow with a life that feels almost ancient. Each bottle catches the morning light differently. Some scatter small patches of color across the ground, like tiny stained glass windows laid open to the sky. Others hold the sunlight inside their curves, letting it spill out slowly as the day moves. Around them, time and daisies lean close, as though listening for a story whispered through glass. There is a quiet honesty in this border. Nothing polished, nothing forced. Just everyday objects reinvented with tenderness. In a small urban yard, where space is precious and first impressions matter, the bottles become both a frame and a memory. They remind us that beauty rarely demands perfection. It only asks to be seen. And as the light shifts from gold to soft dusk, the bottles keep glowing faintly, marking the edge of the garden like a gentle ribbon of color. A signal that something simple, something humble, has been transformed into something worth lingering beside. Let's wander to the next idea. Two, cracked terracotta crown around a flower island. Imagine stepping toward a small circle of earth where the garden suddenly feels older, quieter, almost ceremonial. Around a cluster of blooms, daisies, thyme, tiny succulents, broken pieces of terracotta rise like the remnants of a forgotten crown. Their edges, softened by time and soil, lean gently into the shape of a circle, each shard catching the warm light as if remembering the pots they once were. Terracotta has a way of aging gracefully. Its color deepens, its texture roughens, and the cracks carve their own gentle stories. Placed in the soil this way, each piece becomes a tiny wall, not tall, not imposing, but significant, like markers of a boundary that protects what's tender inside. The warmth of the clay contrasts beautifully with the greens and purples of herbs nestled behind it. Dew collects along the edges in the morning, shimmering against the orange of aged terracotta. And when the sun sets, the shards glow for a moment, holding the last scraps of daylight before the shadows settle in. This small crown of broken pots reminds us that not everything needs to be whole to be meaningful. Sometimes the most broken things can create the softest, most memorable borders. Let's wander to the next idea. Three, shimmering CD shield border for veggie beds. Imagine walking toward a small vegetable bed just as the morning sun begins to warm the earth. Along the edge of the soil, half-buried circles glimmer softly, old CDs, once filled with music and memories, now catching the light like tiny silver shields. They scatter soft reflections across the lettuces and basil leaves, creating flickers that move with the breeze. The shimmer is gentle but purposeful. Birds pause, puzzled by the shifting flashes, giving young shoots a little more time to grow in peace. The CDs no longer spin, no longer play, yet they serve a new rhythm here, a quiet dance of sunlight and motion. Their surfaces, worn from years in drawers and glove compartments, now echo the sky with hints of blue, gold, and morning white. Around them, radishes push through dark soil, leaves trembling lightly as the wind brushes past. The border doesn't try to be perfect. Every CD leans at its own angle, creating a line that feels almost musical. The vegetables seem to grow with a certain confidence, as if knowing they're guarded by something both humble and familiar. In this small bed, the ordinary becomes unexpectedly poetic. And as the day unfolds, the reflections shift like slow-moving constellations along the earth. Now, let's follow the shimmer to the next idea. Four, playful tennis ball path edge for tiny patios. Imagine stepping onto a small patio where the ground feels warm and familiar, and something unexpected greets you at your feet. Along the edge of a simple gravel path, a row of bright yellow tennis balls sits nestled in the soil, soft, rounded, and full of silent stories from games long past. Once bouncing across courts, now they form a gentle border guiding footsteps with a hint of humor and tenderness. Their texture, slightly worn from time and touch, contrasts beautifully with the smooth stones beneath them. Sunlight softens their neon color, turning it into a warm glow that dances lightly against the greens of mint and thyme creeping nearby. The path becomes an invitation to walk slowly, to notice the small things, to admire how playfulness can shape a garden just as much as structure. Children notice them first, drawn to the familiar shapes and cheerful rhythm they create. Adults smile quietly, realizing how a simple object can transform a narrow patio into a place that feels both cared for and lived in. The tennis balls don't try to be perfect. Their charm lies in their honesty, in the way they sit openly as reminders of reuse done with heart. As the wind stirs and the scent of herbs drifts across the path, the border feels like a soft punctuation mark in the garden's story. Let's walk onward to the next idea. Five, candy jar rainbow fence garden. Imagine walking through a narrow backyard where the fence suddenly feels alive, lined not with wood alone, but with a ribbon of color suspended at eye level. Rows of old candy jars, once filled with sweets and childhood excitement, now cradle pansies, petunias, and tender herbs. Their transparent walls reveal every root, every delicate thread of soil, turning each container into a tiny world of its own. Sunlight pours through the jars in the late morning, casting soft glows against the fence like watercolor strokes. The colors, purples, yellows, reds, greens, cascade along the slats, forming a gentle rainbow that seems to hum quietly with life. The twine knots that hold them up feel humble and honest, as if the garden is stitched together by memory and care rather than perfection. What might have been trash becomes a vertical chorus of growth. The jars sway just slightly when the wind breathes through the yard, creating a slow, calming rhythm. And beneath them, along the narrow soil strip, thyme and marigolds rise confidently, as if proud to stand beneath such a bright border. In small spaces where the ground is limited, beauty rises upward. And here, the fence becomes not just a boundary but a celebration of color, light, and renewal, one jar at a time. Let us move gently onward to the next idea. Six, seashell and pebble tide-line garden edge. Imagine a small corner of the garden that feels touched by the ocean, even if the nearest coastline is miles away. Here, along the edge of a gentle bed of succulents and grasses, seashells rest beside polished pebbles, forming a soft curve that calls to mind the moment a wave meets the shore. Their shapes, worn smooth by time and tide, carry a quiet memory of distant beaches. The hush of water, the scent of salt, the shimmer of sunlight on wet sand. Placed among aloe and low fescue, the shells catch morning light with a delicate brightness. Some are chipped, some perfectly spiraled, but together they create a border that feels both natural and intentional. Driftwood pieces lie nearby, like fragments of stories carried far across the world before finding their home in this tiny garden. The colors, soft whites, muted corals, pale blues, blend gently with the stones, making the border feel like a tide line frozen in a peaceful moment. As the day warms, shadows shift between the shells, giving the edge a subtle, living movement. This border doesn't try to dominate. Instead, it whispers of calm places and slow hours, reminding us that even in the smallest backyard, we can carry a piece of the sea with us. Let's continue our journey to the next idea. Seven, puzzle piece memory mosaic path. Imagine walking through a small garden where every step feels like a memory waiting to be discovered. Beneath your feet, puzzle-shaped tiles nestle among smooth gravel, their gentle curves and softened edges echoing afternoons spent piecing together an image on the floor of a quiet room. Sunlight touches each piece differently. Some glow softly, others hold shadows like secrets. The path winds gently between marigolds and ivy, forming a mosaic that is playful yet grounding. A few pieces still carry faded hints of old illustrations or colors, while others are painted with calming tones that blend effortlessly into the garden. Time creeps between the gaps, releasing a subtle scent as you step nearby, as if the garden is breathing slowly with you. There is a warmth in this border, a sense of childhood threaded through practicality. Every mismatched tile finds its place, reminding us that beauty often comes from fragments rearranged with care. It isn't a perfect path, and that is what makes it feel real. Each piece, each stone, Each shadow contributes to a gentle, living rhythm. As you continue forward, the puzzle pieces guide your steps with quiet confidence, inviting you to follow the winding story they create across the earth. Let's wander toward the next idea. 8. Reclaimed wood story frame raised bed. Imagine stepping into a garden where the very edges of the soil carry a history of their own. Weathered boards, some faded from sun, others scarred gently by rain, come together to form a raised bed that feels less like a construction and more like a quiet story told in wood. Each plank has lived a different life, perhaps once part of a fence, a crate, or a small backyard bench. Now they stand side by side, framing a bed of tender greens with the humility only reclaimed materials can offer. Inside this rustic frame, kale and lettuce unfold like soft pages, their colors deepening against the warm reddish tone of aged timber. Rosemary leans outward, brushing the wood as if grateful for the shelter it provides. The mismatched lines of the frame give it charm, not a perfect rectangle, but a character-rich outline that invites the eye to linger. There is something grounding in knowing that nothing here is new. The wood holds echoes of past seasons, past gardens, past hands that once shaped it. Combined with fresh soil and growing life, it becomes a meeting place of old and new, a quiet reminder that renewal often begins with reuse. And as the garden breathes around it, this frame stands both humble and proud, holding space for whatever grows next. Let's continue toward the next idea. 9. Rope and wildflower cottage pathway border. Imagine a narrow garden path where the world seems to slow down, bordered not by rigid stone or sharp edges, but by something softer, weathered rope curving gently between uneven wooden posts. It feels like stepping into an old countryside lane, the kind that guides travelers through meadows blooming with stories. Cosmos sway on their delicate stems, bright and weightless, while poppies flare like tiny lanterns against the green. Chamomile leans close to the gravel path, releasing its quiet scent with every light breeze. These blooms gather around the rope border as if drawn to its simplicity, a soft boundary that invites rather than restricts. The rope itself carries a humble charm. Frayed fibers, sun-faded lines, and knots shaped by time all contribute to a feeling of quiet resilience. It doesn't demand perfection. It simply offers guidance, gently tracing the curves of the path like a whispered suggestion. The posts, slightly uneven, stand like friendly markers watching over each passing step. Here, the garden breathes easily. The border blends wildness with intention, creating a space that feels both free and cared for. As you walk along this path, you can sense the gentle rhythm of nature flowing beside you, steady and serene. Let us follow this gentle pathway to the final idea. 10. Bamboo curtain Zen screen border. Imagine stepping into a quiet garden corner where the world feels softer, as if someone gently lowered the volume of life for just a moment. Against the backdrop of greenery, a worn bamboo curtain rises, not stiff like a wall, but breathing, shifting subtly with every passing breeze. Light filters through each narrow slat, scattering warm, dappled patterns across the stones below. Around it, ferns unfurl like slow exhalations, their fronds arching toward the gentle screen. A small bowl of water reflects the curtain's patterned shadows, turning them into ripples of gold whenever the wind stirs. Bonsai trees stand nearby, shaped by time and patience, their silhouettes adding a quiet sense of discipline to the softness around them. The bamboo itself holds stories in its faded color. Each slat bears the memory of seasons, sunlight, rain, years of use, now transformed into a divider that offers not separation but serenity. This border does not command attention, it invites calm. It feels like a page turned in the middle of a peaceful book, leading the viewer from one mood into another. In a small garden, such a simple screen can cradle stillness, creating a gentle space where breath slows and thoughts settle. Here, even the light seems to move with intention, soft and unhurried. If you made it this far, thank you for spending your time here with us. I'd love to know, which border idea felt most you? The glowing bottles, the cracked pot crowns, the puzzle path, the tennis ball edges, or the tiny vertical fence gardens? Tell me in the comments what you already have at home and which design you're brave enough to try first. If this video sparked even a small piece of hope or inspiration, please tap like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share this with someone who dreams of a more beautiful garden but thinks they don't have the space or money. Every view, every comment, every share truly helps keep this backyard fortune dream alive for our family, and I'm deeply grateful. Until the next video, may your days be peaceful, your health strong, and your little corner of earth grow more magical with every season.